Alrighty, guys, welcome back to this week's swing trading live stream. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day today. Now in today's live, we are going to be talking about pretty much our strategy, our approach with swing trading, our strategy, everything, entries, exits, risk management, how I swing trade, the strategy I use, the best trading strategy. So all of that good stuff that you guys can do, whether you're just starting out or maybe you have a full-time job, you want to make that transition. What's a good strategy? What's a good approach? So I hope you guys all enjoy it. If you guys do, hit that like button, subscribe. And if you guys want to learn more about swing trading, check out our school. I put it down below. You guys can get 50% off by using code BEGINNER. Use that code. I think there's only like 3 or 4 spots left for that code. So if you want to elevate your trading, check it out. Private live streams, quizzes, lectures, a group chat, but more importantly, teaching you to trade, teaching you proper setups, proper strategies, all that good stuff. So hope you guys all enjoy it. Don't forget code BEGINNER for 50% off. And let's turn to the computer and see our more recent swing trade here. All right. So for those of you that know, I was on vacation this past week here over the past 5 days. Went to Florida. I live in Michigan. It gets very cold, so I need to get out. So this past week here, honestly, we didn't trade as much. It makes sense. Took one trade, GLNG. Obviously, when I'm on vacation, normally I go into vacation mode and saw this setup, took a nice trade on it, made about $600 off it. Probably would have got a better entry point. Probably would have went a little heavier if I was home, but hey, I can't complain with profit because as a trader, our main goal is one thing, and that is to make money. So not complaining at all. Now, we have the stock here, GLNG up, which is the stock that I traded. And, this is the broker Mumu. I'll put them down below. Everybody will ask me, what broker I use almost every single day, whether it's on comments, so I just throw it in down below, up to 20 free stocks just by signing up. So check it out down below. But, all right, so GLNG. So before I ever place a trade, what do I look for? So the first thing is trends. Trends, in my opinion, are probably one of the most underutilized things traders and investors don't pay attention to. Everybody will invest and trade stocks that honestly that they feel has potential, right? So often what a lot of people think is they'll find a stock on a downward trend and they'll try to buy low. But the issue with buying low, especially trading a stock, is often it will just continue to follow the trend. With stocks like this, it's almost indication and verification that there's at least some sort of buying pressure involved, which is important. Another thing I look for is moving average lines. So moving average lines are indicators that traders and investors use to determine trends and support and resistance. So I use 3. I used to use 2, started using the 50-day just recently because I do think it has some potential, and I'll show you why. So looking at this here, you guys will notice that it hits this blue line, right? Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And then it also look how many times it hits this yellow line, which is the 50-day moving average line. So we have the 50, which is the yellow, the blue, which is the 90, and then we have the red, which is the 200-day. So the main difference between all 3 of these is going to be strength levels. So, the red is the 200-day. So it's going to be a harder support and harder resistance. Because when a stock sells off below it, it does have a hard time breaking up above it. So ideally, you want to find that stock on that upward trend that has sold off down to some sort of support level. So one of the reasons I took a trade on GLNG was because of the recent tendencies of getting a lot of buying pressure on that blue line, which is the 90-day moving average line. So you can see once, twice, 3 times. Normally for me to establish, to call it a really good support, I want 3 or at least 2 touches of buying pressure on a moving average line. So we had this huge sell-off here. And, for me, I never just will place a trade just by looking at the trend in the moving average line. I'll also look at the RSI, which is the relative strength index, which right here was trading for 32. Last time it was trading for 32 was back in here, and we have some good buying pressure. This right here was at a 35 when we had good buying pressure. So I knew we had that good possibility of getting buying pressure, which is good, that good breakout. So now here, let's kind of refresh. Stock on an upward trend, sold off down to that 90-day moving average line, which has had recent supports of buying pressure. Undervalued RSI is the next one here. So another thing that I think is incredibly important, and what I want to start working on and practicing myself, because I've been swing trading now for 7 years full time. And the second you think you know everything with trading is the second you're going to lose money, you're not going to adapt, and it's just better to be constantly in a state of learning than thinking you know everything. So I went to the hourly time frame, which I do for like 99% of my trades. And honestly, the best entry point would have been on this breakout right here, at about $39, where it hit that, support here. That would have been the best entry point. But I'm on vacation, right? Like I said, I'm in vacation mode. So by the time I saw this stock here, it was trading up here at about $40 and about 72 cents was my entry point. So I thought, okay, we can see if it will ride the wave of the 50, which is that yellow line, and maybe the 90 line as support. Over the next couple of days, the stock did go from about $42 all the way up to highs at $44. With trading and investing in general, you will never buy, or it's very difficult to buy at the peak bottom and sell at the peak top. It's almost impossible because you want to get in when there's confirmation and out when there's a sign of a breakdown. So the sign of a breakdown for me was this right here. You can see where it hit that yellow line as support here, and we had that good move. So I thought, okay, we'll see if it can push up above it like this. Obviously, didn't happen. The stock sold off and we got out, at about $42. Okay. And it did continue to sell off. And yes, there's possibly a trend going in this direction where we could get a push back up to 44. Well aware of that. So now made about $600 off this. Could have made more if I would have got in down here, sold, up here, but that's not that big of a deal. I'm not worried about that. So as of right now, we're not holding any positions, which is good because sometimes, when you come back from vacation, if often what I found is when I'm holding positions, sometimes I just miss moves. I'm a lot more, honestly, just not good. I'm not good, to be honest. So I'm good. After vacation, I'm going to start fresh, continue to seek opportunity. And that's kind of what I want to bring up here is the opportunity aspect here. So this past week here, let's see here. This past week, obviously holding none. Opportunity-wise, I do think we do have a decent list of opportunity. We almost took a trade on VRT before I left. And, we do have this. One of the things I like about this is we do have this trend. So we could enter right here, keep our stop loss just below this trend, about 4% down, for a possible push up to about 150, 154 in that range. The risk and reward is there, coming in at about 5.63, risking $1 to make $5.63, which is really good. But we'll see. We'll see how this reacts. I'm kind of just in this middle grade where I saw it hit it classified as support, which is that 200-day moving average line, but we'll see how it reacts. We'll see how it looks in the next couple of hours, next day or so here. But we might take a trade on this. We saw PayPal get absolutely crushed here. PayPal, looking at the daily, hit that 200-day moving average line. With PayPal, this was due to bad earnings, right? And often with investing and trading, where we see these steep sell-offs, any action is often an overreaction. So we could see a move from like $77 to like $83. This window, possibly a gap fill where it fills this gap right in here up to like $86, but definitely one to leave on watch here. LUV, let's pull it up. LUV here. Southwest Airlines. Let's see. Southwest Airlines, looking at this, let's zoom out. Okay. So this one here, we do have a little bit of a shorter trend, right? Like I said, trends are important. you can see, right, this downward trend, which I will trade stocks like this, but let's look at other metrics here. RSI 40. Let's see how it looks on a lower candle. So the lower candle here. So for me, we've had that false breakout in the past here where it popped up, sold off. You know, this one, let's see. You know, that's kind of the trend I'm seeing. Maybe even something like this. Yeah, you know, one of the issues I see with this is the spread is quite large. Not saying you can't make any money off it by any means, but you know, you can see where it's popped up, you know, for that breakout approach, even in here where it popped up, rallied up, and immediately sold off. I think this thing is just a little too volatile. If I were to enter, it would be a move up to here at like 32. I see it possibly breaking out. So, I mean, just throw an alert at 32. I'm just not a huge fan of these huge spreads, right? And what I mean by that, and what I mean by these spreads is where it pops up above it and immediately gets sell off. So I would leave this one on watch. Not saying you can't make money off it, but I'm just not a huge fan of this trend, to be honest with you. I know the 200-day moving average could see a move up to $35. I just think the risk might be a little too high. Missed out. Should I still enter? If it were my position, obviously you do your own research. If you feel there's opportunity, then do it. But for me, I think I personally wouldn't. I'll just say that. I think the risk is higher. I know you can draw out the risk and reward here. So entering, keep your stop here for push up to here. You know, that's the approach, kind of 3-to-1. Yeah. I would hold off. Final verdict. But not saying you can't make any money off it, right? Not saying you can't do that. Missed out on IP. Let's pull it up. IP here. 90-day moving average play for sure. Hit it once, almost twice. Had this nice buying pressure on that. Hourly. Man, I think I'm getting a cold after my trip. Yeah, so something like that here. So to enter this position here, what I would want to see happen, obviously if you entered here, there's this good separation. Kind of the train is already, so to speak, left the station. I would want to get a little sell off back down to here at like 55 to like 50, high 54s. Something like that. But this is a good one here. I do like this. You know, and the reason I say that is because it would be like tapping this 50-day moving average line on the daily. So if we had that dip down, it'd be hitting here, you know, for support to push up. So a little cool down for the rally. You know, that's the approach I would take here. You know, let's see. Just kind of looking at this huge support on the 50-day moving average line though. Yeah, we'll leave this. We'll throw this on watch. All right. Some other stocks here that I was looking at. We'll start on the bottom and work our way up. I know we covered VRT, PayPal, then PKG here. You know, this one here, we got some huge sell-off, right? Going from about 242 to 209. Looking at the hourly time frame, we do have this, you know, this little trend forming. You know, if we can get a push above like 213, I do think there could be a move going in this direction. The thing I don't like is this you know, the how flat it is. Normally we'll see a little more volatility because volatility often brings opportunity, but you know, it's like decent. It's like a B, you know, B minus setup. All right, LNG here. This one here does look relatively decent. LNG here, look, I threw this in the chat for those of you that are in the team. What I like about this is the recent tendencies of getting a lot of support on moving average lines, right? You can see where it hits it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. And then we had this little dip down, right? Now, my thought process was this with this stock here. Entering here, right? If that's just say we enter here, keep our stop loss about here for a push. I don't think we'll push back up to 257, but I think the high 249s is realistic. And that's a risk and reward of 4.58, risking $1 to make $4.58, which is pretty good. And looking at lower time frame, we have the hourly, which would be more of the little more volatile. Let's look at some other ones, because one of the things I want to start working on is other time frames with my trades. So we can see here. Let's see how this. So we kind of have this forming here. You can see these huge wicks of buying pressure here. So entering here for push up to 208, something like that, I think could carry potential. But it's decent. It's decent. We covered IP. Google got absolutely crushed. Looking at the hourly time frame, it's starting to get that huge sell-off. I know they released what earnings, the other day, got huge sell-off here. Consolidated. I think they released another thing here. But yeah, sell-off like this could bring a good opportunity here. Looking at that daily, it's hitting that 90-day moving average line, which does carry some potential. 90-day moving average lines are my bread and butter, guys. So, enter here. And the thing about like blue chip stocks like Google, like PayPal, like, some of these companies is you could trade them. And if we get that dip down, if that just say we entered here at 187, it sells off down to 174, you average down. So once the stock recovers, your average cost is a lot lower, so you can make more money. Google is definitely one that I'll probably pick up, maybe a small amount of shares pretty soon, possibly either today or Monday. Go light with it, not super heavy with the share quantity, and see if we can get a little recovery out of this. But I am somebody where I'm never fearful of sell-off. I love sell-off. So Google stock is definitely one on watch for sure. So another one here is BHE. BHE here, another stock hit that 200-day moving average line. Not a huge fan of it. And the reason I say that, we would have to throw an alert above here. Let's just adjust this one here. Let's remove that. I put it in for push up to the, up here, hit that, sold off. So we'll just continue to watch on this one here. ADMA could see a nice trend line play out of this, something kind of like that. We'll see here. Daily looks okay. We have that death cross possibly forming. And this is kind of that trend right here. So we would want to set an alert above this at about 17.91 before that $18 breakout here. So let's save that. There we go. This thing's just been selling off like crazy. So, if you guys are watching, make sure you guys hit that like button. Do it right now. Don't forget, guys, you guys can use code BEGINNER for 50% off our school. Private live streams, quizzes, lectures, group chat. Also, guys, the broker I'm using is Moomoo. You guys can get up to 20 free stocks just by signing up. Yeah, other than that, that's all of the stocks on watch here. I'll take a screenshot of this, send it to you guys in the team. But I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our school. Check out Moomoo, all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Expect this same live stream next week, same time. Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Yeah, and then same thing with the team. Maybe we'll talk about it in the group if you guys want 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. on Monday. So hope you guys all enjoyed it. Feel free to rewind, pause, screenshot any of the things that we talked about